So now that we have our model, which looks like this, we're going to add details to these two newel posts and all of our balusters. Now, since they're already components, we can do this pretty easily. I'm going to double click to get inside the component. That's our staircase. I'm going to click on one of the newel posts. I'm going to double click again. Now I'm going to remind you that if you change anything in one of these, you're changing the other one entirely. So we're going to start, and actually we are going to push our item, our newel post, down until there is 11 inches from the base. That's already 10 by 10 wide, because it's going to be a little bit easier to work with our item, work with our newel post subtract additively than it is to be working with it subtractively. So I'm going to grab my tape measure tool, and I'm going to drag a guideline up 11 inches, and then I'm going to grab my push-pull tool and I'm going to match that to that guideline. Now I'm not going to clear my guide at the moment, but I will later. I'll just go ahead and grab, go to edit and clear guide, delete guides when I'm done with all of it. So I'm going to grab the offset tool, and I'm going to offset it a total of 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to undo that because I clicked too soon, and then type 1 inch, enter. Here we go, and then I'm going to push pull this, and I'm going to bring that up 8 inches. And I'm just following those guidelines that are in my drafting. And I'm going to do it again. I'm going to grab the offset tool. I'm going to come in 1 inch. Now this time all I have to do is double click, and it will actually pull in that inch. It'll replicate the same thing I did before. Now I know that the next part is 1 foot 9. 1 foot 9 inches. There we go. And then another part is, I should tell you what I just did there. Another part is 1.5 inches higher. But I actually want there to be a line separating those two, because I'm going to add something on top of that in our last video. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and make it a round over. But I want there to be a line there. So there's something I could add a line there. I could pull it up and then add a line. Or I can grab the push-pull tool and click the control key. And what this does is it's saying make a line or a surface and then add this as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start the push-pull, tap the control key, pull up 1.5 inches and hit enter. Okay. And now I'm going to do another set at that same width. So I'm going to tap the control key again, and I bring that up 8 inches. And then I am going to do a series of offset tool steps at the top. So I'm going to do one going out. Ooh, I'm at a pretty bad angle. I can't seem to get my offset tool to pull out, but there, I got it there. I'm going to go 0.25 inches. I grab the push-pull tool, and I'm going to pull it up just a tad, which is 1/8 of an inch. Evidently a tad is 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to do that again. Grab the offset tool, and I'm going to pull out again, push-pull, pull it up 1/4 of an inch this time. I'm going to pull all of those up that far, and then I'm going to, and you can see that we're creating this little step up, right? I'm going to do it one more time, offset tool. I'm going to go out just a little bit, 1/4 of an inch to be exact, which you do want to be. I'm going to do the push-pull tool and pull it up again by 1/8 of an inch. And now again, I can double click to redo the same action. So instead of pulling all these to the same height, I'm just going to go double click, double click, double click. Now they're all the same height. Now I could delete these, but instead I'm going to do a stair step back in. So I'm going to start with this one, and nope, that's too far. I'm going to start with the second one in, and I'm going to bring that up 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to bring that center one there to 5/8 of an inch. Now I'm going to grab the offset tool and pull it in 1/2 inch. Grab the push-pull tool and pull it up 3/8 of an inch. Grab the the offset tool. Do that again. This time I'm going to make it much smaller. I'm going to make it about an offset of an inch. Push-pull tool, bring that up 3/4 of an inch. Oh, nope, 1/2 inch looks better. And then one more time, offset tool, 1 inch, push-pull, 1/2 inch. I'm also going to grab the eraser tool and I'm going to erase this excess square down here. Now what did that do? What did that do exactly? It really just gave us a cute top to our newel post, right? Something cute in there. Now we're going to do something the opposite way on these sides. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the offset tool and offset in 1.5 inches there. Grab the push-pull tool and push in 1/4 of an inch. Somehow I lost my square. Okay, so before we push it in, we're actually going to grab the offset tool and we're going to offset by 1.5 inches there. And then we're going to grab the push-pull tool. But before we do use the push-pull tool, we're going to grab the offset tool and go around and double-click on each surface that we're going to do this push so that we have, you know what, honestly, I was going to do one on the back side, but you don't see the back side, so I'm okay if you don't do one back there. So I'm going to grab the push-pull tool and I'm going to grab the center surface and push in 0.5 inches. And then I'm going to do it again on both sides of this guy right here. Okay, so now we're going to go with something complicated because all of that wasn't very complicated so far. And we're going to make the flutes that push in. So I'm going to grab the tape measure tool and I'm going to make this a center flute. And here's what I'm going to do. I want to make another one that is 1.5 inches away from here, 1.5 inches. Then another one at 1.5 inches. And I want them to be a full 1.5 inches from the top and a full 1.5 inches from the bottom. So this is 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches, right? Okay. So then I'm going to grab a arc tool and actually I'm going to grab a rectangle tool and I'm going to make a rectangle that is however tall this is, which is 1'6". Make something that's 1'6" by 1 inch. 1'6" by 1 inch. That's a little big. I take that back. 1'6" by 3/4 inch. 1'6" by 3/4 of an inch. There we go. That's better. And I'm going to grab it by double clicking. And I'm going to grab the move tool. And I'm going to move it until it's right on the intersection up there. Then I'm actually going to make it a component because I don't need to make this 3 times. I'll just make it once and use the component to make it 3 times. So I'm going to grab the center of the top, tap the control key, grab the center of the top, tap the control key, and this makes me 3 copies of my component. So now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to double click on one of those components. It actually doesn't matter which one I click on. So I want to make sure to start at a very particular place because I want it to be the same the top and the bottom. So I'm going to grab the tape measure tool and pull down 1/2 inch. I'm going to grab my arc tool, click the beginning, the middle, and the end. Hey now. Click the beginning, the end, and the middle. Well, I don't want it to bulb out like that. So let me change my measurement. I'm going to pull that down to go with 1/4 inch. Beginning and middle. That's much better. Okay? So I'm going to take the eraser tool and I'm going to erase these 2 lines I don't need. I'm also going to erase that guideline that I don't need. I'm going to go to the bottom and I'm going to grab tape measure tool, pull that up 1/4 inch, grab my arc tool, and pull to the center. I'm going to do the same thing, erase the things I don't need. Doop, doop. And now I'm going to grab the push-pull tool and I'm going to push this in an 1.5 inches. I'm going to undo that. Now see, if I do that, they won't interfere with the newel post. So I'm going to grab all 3 of those and I'm going to right click and I'm going to click explode. Now all of my items are individual surfaces, and when I push on them, they are going to cut out of the surface that they're on. I actually want them to affect the surface they're on. So I'm going to undo and undo one more time until they're back in their component form. And that is because I'm going to take them, copy and paste them, and put them on the other face. So I'm going to hold them until they intersect with that point and then slide out so that they inference to that point. They do not want to inference for me. So if that doesn't work, I can simply grab some really quick guidelines, set them on there, choose all 3 of these at the same time, grab the move tool, grab the bottom center, and put it on the center of those lines. There we go. And do the same on the other side. See if we can get it to. I'm going to Control V to paste them. Grab this end point in the center. Grab the midpoint. See if I can get it to inference this time. That intersection, midpoint, midpoint. There it is. Doom. So I did get it to hit that time. So now I'm going to explode all of these. Holding Shift as I'm selecting. Right click, explode. Grab the push-pull tool and push in 0.25 inches. I'm going to do that on each and every one of these flutes. Now, I didn't explode these guys because I only did what I could see. So I'm going to hit the space bar, go back to the selection tool, hold Shift so I can select all of them, right click to explode them, grab my push-pull tool, and since I haven't push-pulled anything to another dimension, I can again just double click. And now I have this very nice, very detailed newel post. There's one other detail that I want to talk to you guys about, and that is how to do molding. I'm going to show you how to do that once in this video, but in our next video, I'm going to show you how to do that several times. So I'm going to draw a flat image, but I'm going to draw it coming off of this newel post in the green direction. So I have to move around until I can find the green direction there. Ooh, come on. Actually, my guidelines are really in the way, so I'm going to go Edit, Delete Guides. I'm going to try again. I'm going to make a line straight down and I'm going to make a bubble coming off this wall in the green direction. Now you can see that it's in the green direction. And if I grab the line tool, draw it straight down, you can see that it's making a shape perpendicular to that of the newel post. So now I'm going to use something called the Follow Me tool. And that's this one right here. And what this will do is you get to pick any surface, and I'm going to pick that surface I just created. And you can see that the line on top of my selection is highlighted, and that means this shape is following that line. And it will even follow it around a curve. Do you see that? You see how cool that is? It will do that no matter what the surface encounters. So I'm going to do that again over here. I'm going to grab it, I'm going to grab that surface, grab the Follow Me tool, and follow this surface, this line right up here. And when I click, that will create all of that geometry. Now I'm going to grab the eraser tool and hide by holding Shift while I select all of those extra lines in that geometry that I don't need, including these lines. And this will mean that it's a much smoother looking surface view. I'm going to unclick Hidden Geometry, and you're able to see what I'm talking about. Now that is one quick view of the Follow Me tool. We're going to do a lot more of the Follow Me tool in the next video, and that is how to build the newel posts. Now we could do a very similar thing with the bolsters, making them pretty and designed well. Other than that, I'm going to double click on them, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to carve something out of what's already here. Or I can just, and what I mean by that is I'm going to start with it thick at the top and thick at the bottom. And I'm going to grab the line tool and I'm going to draw all the way around from the top and the bottom that I want to keep. Grab the push-pull tool and I'm going to push that center out. I'm just going to cut it out, right? And just delete those excess lines. So now all I have is the top and bottom floating around. So now I can draw detail inside of that. And I just picked a random height, and that's fine for now. So I'm going to grab a cylinder, and I'm going to fill this with a cylinder. Move it up to the top. So I'm going to fill that with a cylinder, and actually I'm going to pull that up, and then I'm going to grab the offset tool, and I'm going to offset that to be a smaller cylinder. And what this means is I'm going to grab the move tool and grab that shape, and I'm going to move it straight up. And now you see how when I move it, I'm going to make sure it's on the blue axis. When I move it, it's not attaching. Hello? Okay. SketchUp is refusing to do what I want it to do at the moment. Alright. I'll argue with SketchUp later. I am going to grab the center part, push, pull it up. I'm going to grab the offset tool near the top. And you guys can do whatever decoration you want on this bolster, as long as you make the two of them match. So what I mean by that is that now I'm going to double click out, I double click on this guy over here, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. And this is where inferencing comes in handy. So I'm going to be careful to make sure that my edges match, and I'm going to do the same thing over here that I did over there with inferencing. So I'm going to grab the offset tool, offset this the same amount, offset that, grab the circle tool, make a small circle, push pull till it's the same height as this, grab the offset tool, make it larger, push pull, make it match. So as long as your two balusters have the same height, which these do not somehow. Push pull, oops, push pull, match. Oh, I guess it's just a trick of perspective. They didn't look like they match. But as long as these match, I'm fine with whatever you do with them. So they can have 1 or 2 steps on them. They can be simpler than that. They can only have 1 circle in them. Whatever you want to do is fine. But put some detail on them. And that's the rest of this video. So now you have these very detailed pieces that didn't take as much work because you made them components. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next video.